welcome back to We Discuss This. I'm Lakshmi.
And I'm Madhuri.
Today we are going to be talking with someone very special. These are friends of ours who we greatly admire, and they run a very special children's toy brand called Gubbachhi.
And for those of you who don't know, Gubbachhi is the Kannada word for sparrow. The tiny, cute little, soft bird. Absolutely adorable and one of my favorites.
Given that both our mothers are entrepreneurs, we have immense respect for anyone who run their own business. So today we have invited Pallavi and Abhijit Shetty, who are the founders of Gubbachhi, because we want to understand from them what their journey has been, right?
Yeah, and to know how they manage as business owners who are also a couple and a family, how they navigate through things, and we'd love to know more. And on that note, let's get straight to it. Okay, so what got you started in children's toys as a business idea? And please tell us the story behind the adorable brand name.
Okay, so Pallavi and I actually have experience in marketing and advertising, but I think there's one thing uh, in which we have far deeper experience, and that is in being parents. Because we have not one, but we have two boys. We have a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old, and because of that life stage, we also have a lot of friends who are also parents, and therefore we thought that okay, we seem to understand a lot about parenting, and therefore we thought we should do something in that sector, so to speak. And plus we did our research and we realized that a lot of tailwinds are there in this sector. Like yes, people are having lesser kids, but the ones who are having kids are spending a lot more on kids, for example, right? So it sort of made prudent business sense, and therefore we thought we should get into the
Yeah,
kids
also, I
space.
think we basically just had an observation about how kids are growing up today, right? Like they are essentially growing up as global citizens, largely thanks to the content that they watch from a really young age, right? And so we felt that while that is great because we would want them to sort of, explore the whole world tomorrow. But the flip side of it is that they were losing touch with their roots and where they came from. And in the toy category specifically, we felt that there were a lot of toys that spoke about STEM, but not a lot that spoke about identity and roots and culture. And so we felt that there was a white space there for us to explore, and we were
Yeah,
keen on
that's
doing
how that's
something
how
together.
Gubbachhi came. And
Yeah.
Gubbachhi, I mean, apart from the fact that yes, we are a toy company with bigger ambitions, but fundamentally, Gubbachhi's vision is to be this gateway where parents can introduce the next generation of children to the wonderful world of India. Indian heritage, Indian culture, Indian arts. That's how Gubbachhi came to be. And the story behind the name is, Gubbachhi basically means sparrow in Kannada. And again, the idea is it's a little metaphorical because while we were kids and growing up, sparrows were a very quintessential part of our childhood.
Yeah.
Today, you can't see sparrows; you can see pigeons, unfortunately. So we thought, that's a good, you're almost like doffing the hat to a childhood that once was, right?
Yeah.
And therefore Gubbachhi. And of course, because Gubbachhi is an India-inspired brand, like all of our product names, even the brand name has an Indian language name. Therefore Gubbachhi. And plus Gubbachis also are very lively and chirrupy and curious little birds, much like children,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah.
I love that you said that thing about the childhood and having, that be a very quintessential part of all our childhoods. I grew up in Bangalore, and I remember a lot of the summer holidays when we'd go over to like our grandparents' house. There'd just be a line of sparrows first thing in the morning, and we'd all be so amused, and they're so tiny, so cute. It's just the loveliest thing. So when I heard your brand name, I was like, oh, I love this.
Yeah, and even for
Yeah,
like,
people who
even for
don't
people
understand the language
exactly
also.
the
Yeah.
ones who know the language, of course, they're in love with the name. But even the ones who don't understand Kannada, they seem to find something
Very cute about
cute.
It is very
It
cute
is.
for
It's a
someone
very
like me who
cute
doesn't
word.
know Kannada. I think
Yeah.
it's such a cute word,
Yeah.
and because of the cuteness of that, and you associate that with kids because they are cute too. So I think it's I
Like
think
one
it's
customer
lovely.
Yeah, like one customer actually told us, "अरे इसमें तो बच्ची है." Like, oh yeah, we didn't
Gubbachhi mein
realize
bachchi
that.
hai. So I mean, whatever works, right? I mean,
Yeah.
as long as someone justifies it somehow.
You're
you know.
making the right associations.
Yeah, yeah.
As long as they can relate it back to
Absolutely.
something cute,
Yeah.
Correct,
something,
correct.
for kids.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And just, something super fun.
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
the brand
Absolutely.
name is just like...
Right. Thank you.
Okay, so what's the one quality in your partner which makes them an exceptional entrepreneur, but can also be like a frustrating spouse?
I'll go first. I think,
Wow, ready answer you.
yeah.
I like that.
I mean, I know what frustrates me, so I think that answer is ready. No, seriously, I think the one quality of Pallavi is, she, how do I put it? She can put her mind behind anything, and then she can sort of work towards getting really good at it.
Okay. Yeah.
Like for example, and she's the utter technophobe that I've met. I mean, she's someone who, when we started dating, her Facebook profile picture was like that, right? And I had to, after dating, I had to re-angle it, right? But now, she does these AI prompts, and I'm not saying ChatGPT. I'm saying, she opens PowerShell, she goes to the terminal, she's saying /Claude, that, this, and all that. The point is, if there's anything, and she claims to be not very natural with numbers, which I don't think is true, but she can get behind a task.
Yeah.
So that is one thing as a co-founder / partner that I find is very reassuring for me.
Okay.
That if there's one thing I don't know, she also doesn't know, but at least she'll put her head to it and she'll become good at it,
Right.
sort of thing. Which is also what makes it frustrating, because I think she gives like I think I myself am giving like a 120%, but I think Pallavi gives 180%, and that benchmark is always there. So no matter how hard I try, I'm always trying to be at Pallavi's benchmark, which is really, really tiring and frustrating. And she's like, "Why don't you get up at 3 in the morning?" Because I can't, because it's insane to get up at 3 in the morning. But I think, yeah, I mean, what works for the business, unfortunately, it can get very annoying.
Okay. What about you, Pallavi?
Wow. I mean, I took some time to think because, this didn't come to me instantly like it did to you.
I thought about this.
But I think he definitely, like, one superpower that he brings to the table is his ability to network with people, right? He has friends everywhere.
Oh, yes.
And those friends have done a lot for us. Wherever we get stuck in the business, there's someone Abhijit will know who will be able to find a solution for us, right?
Yeah.
So that way, I think obviously those bonds and those relationships that he has been nurturing for such a long time have played a very critical role at different stages
Right.
to unlock things for us. But it also takes a lot of his time and commitment, and sometimes I'm just like, okay, you have too many friends. And that can also get a little, because we are obviously, it's not the stage in life where we have a lot of time to nurture a lot of things, but he has close equations with so many people, and that can be good and bad.
So if I'm not meeting my friends, you know who's to blame.
Yeah, right, like he listens
Correct.
to me.
Oops,
I'm
yeah.
gonna cut that
Yeah.
out. So, if your marriage had a board meeting, what would, like every month, what would the agenda be?
If marriage had a board meeting,
Yeah.
then I think it would be anything not related to business, right? Because most of our conversations, honestly, are around business right now. So then other things would get prioritized. Like, for example, I think spending time like we keep having these discussions of when do we get our downtime.
Yeah.
And that has not happened. So I think one big agenda on that board meeting will be to plan and execute downtime. That would be one. And then, of course, I think in general, things like kids and family and everything that sometimes you have to put on the back seat because, well, there are other pressing things that the business demands, right? That would be.
Yeah, I mean, just all of what she said, plus also another point is, again, how do you make sure that work doesn't seep into marriage? Because that has happened. I mean, where bad day at work, bad day at business, that really boils over into the personal relationship,
Still
and
not handled
we've
that.
just ended up fighting.
Yeah.
And we realized that that is somewhere that, so this board meeting will definitely have that as a big agenda point. How do you separate work and marriage, right?
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Okay. Who is the CEO at work and who runs the house?
I think this is clear. I think this is clear because this is a question that when investors ask also, we are very clear. She is CEO.
Okay.
She is the CEO when it comes to the business.
Okay.
When it comes to running the house, I think that way it's a
Yeah,
split.
split. Yeah, we
thing.
do share equal responsibilities.
Yeah. Like for example, paying the bills, ensuring the
Yeah.
lights are on. Like I mean to say, paying current bill, what do you call it, broadband bill, pay bills, utility bills, my gate bills, etc., etc. All that is me. But I think
Yeah, I think like the daily running of the
Yeah,
household in terms
yeah.
of groceries, in terms of just making sure kids'
I
breakfast
think
is in place, all of that.
Hmm.
But
Much like the business, I think even in running the household, I think the responsibility is split, right?
yeah,
Like she makes breakfast.
yeah,
I brush the kids' teeth.
yeah.
I give them
Yeah.
medicines.
Yours.
Yeah, chores.
But I
Chores.
think
You make breakfast.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do, and the kids have to eat it.
Have to eat it.
Whatever I do,
It
makes
sustains.
life.
It's edible. That's all. Yeah, that's all it takes.
Yeah, but I think one important thing to note is the kids' school related, like homework and just making sure that everything that they need from a school perspective, that is his
Yeah,
responsibility.
that I do. So I make sure that the mails are read. Like if there are a bunch
Yeah.
of books that need to be purchased, I purchase it. I put
Yeah.
homework. I mean, mostly, I'm the one who gets the homework done, but she also does it. But
Yeah, yeah. But it's his job.
yeah,
Yeah.
So that way we
Split it
Split
pretty
it.
equally.
So basically, CEO of the business
Yeah.
and CEOs of the house. Like
Yeah.
co-CEOs.
COOs
I
of
think
the
CEO are the kids. Yeah.
That's true. That's
The
true.
big bosses.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So, what is one business lesson that actually improved your marriage? You spoke about all the challenges and all the harder side of things, but what's one thing that really improved your marriage?
So I'm not sure if it's a lesson, but it's basically almost like a requirement right now, right? We need to talk. It's like there's no getting away from it. So no matter how angry we are, we can't let that fight fester at all because you can't. There's no avoiding each other. You need to make decisions together. The business itself is, it's not easy to run it from a day-to-day perspective itself. Then you can't be holding your grudges, right? So you need to sort of resolve things and move forward. Initially, we could do this, not speak to each other for weeks, and then some big drama will happen and things will come together. We can't afford to have those dramas anymore. You have to be practical and you have to sort of get to resolving it much quickly, and then get on with work. So I think our fights have possibly become like shorter and insignificant, I would say.
No, I think that's great. I think it's so important that communication, at least it comes through business because there
That's
is an
true.
agenda and because you guys are working on something
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And like we always say, communication is key.
Correct.
And having a shared goal.
Yeah, helps
You're
in that.
both
Yeah,
working
yeah.
towards
Absolutely.
always a
Totally.
good
Yeah.
thing.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Okay.
Yeah. And for me also, I mean, the lesson for me personally is, like even in business, there are 100 things to do, but you need to know how to prioritize because you obviously can't, that much bandwidth only is not there.
Hmm.
You lose your marbles if you end up giving equal priority to everything, right? So you need to know which are the top priority tasks and which can be done later. So I think that's a lesson that I also personally am constantly trying to bring into marriage with simple stuff. Like, I know there are some fights that are not worth fighting. I'm like, okay, fine. Yeah.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Don't sweat the sponsor. I'm okay. Let her win this one.
Oh.
Right? For example, right? I'm not just an example, guys. But yeah, so I think you need to prioritize stuff at work
Strike
and at
two.
home. Okay. I let this one pass.
That is good.
So, what was the first moment you realized that this business might actually work? When did that realization hit? After how many?
Actually, honestly, the answer to that we still don't know. Huh?
Okay.
We don't know if this business will still work. We are hoping and praying that it does. But of course, I think it's in a better position. I mean, we are definitely in a better state than we were a couple of years back. But I think, essentially to answer your question point blank, it's like, when we got a lot of positive feedback from customers saying, hey, this is something, this is an idea that we can get behind. Like, like we were saying earlier, Gubbachhi's whole vision is to help introduce the world of India to little ones. Now that seems to be a need in customers, and customers coming and say, "Ha, this happens with my kids. This happens with my grandchildren. They're cut off from India so much." Number one, so that means that our insight somewhere is true.
Hmm.
Number two, product validation also. I'm not saying product market fit, that's still a while away. Product validation seems to be coming in. People are saying, you are making good products. This design is very unique. What you're making is good. Of course, we get feedback here and there, but overall, I think both in terms of what the brand purpose is and the kind of products that we're making and putting out, we're getting overwhelmingly positive reviews on that. So I think that is a very heartening sign.
Yeah, for me, I think sometime last year during this time only, we launched something called folk art puzzles, which are basically these wooden block puzzles based on the folk arts of India. And I remember it just took off. Basically, within a weekend, we had sold double of what we actually had. So we had to actually call up
Independence
customers.
Day.
During Independence Day, correct. And I remember that weekend we had to call up customers individually and speak to so many of them, basically suggesting that we can return the money because it will take us at least 2 weeks to facilitate the order. And most of the customers were willing to wait for it, and that sort of gave me some amount of confidence that there is something here, because in today's day, when 10 minutes is what your expectation is for things to reach you, if you are willing to wait 2 weeks, then there is some value that we are trying to create, right? And that is being acknowledged. So that's, I think, when I realized that maybe what we've gotten into is something interesting.
It's wonderful because clearly what you're building is something really special. I'm sure your customers love the products, they love you guys, they love the brand. And you guys clearly work well together, both as a couple as well as business partners. But if one of you were to quit the business tomorrow, what would the other struggle with the most?
Um, Yeah, I think, see, for me, that's what he handles, the daily operations of the business, right? So, for the business to just run smoothly, whether it's picking up, like, I think 100 calls a day, or just making sure that, we are adhering to whatever commitments we have made to customers or to vendors. All of that essentially is running right now completely smoothly because he's on it. And that gives me the time to sort of think strategically, right? If it wasn't there, then if that part is missing, then there is no space for someone to just get away from the daily hassles and to just have that mind space to sort of build the vision for the company. And I think that would definitely suffer, because you can't avoid this, right? So that would be something that I would definitely not be able to do.
So
Yep.
he reduces the noise
Yeah,
and allows you that
to think.
peace
Yeah,
to think. That's
yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's that exact opposite, right? I mean, because she's again putting down the strategy of the company, the vision, so to speak. Uh, Not that I can't do it, and I'm sure it's not like she can't do operations,
Yeah.
right? Because in fact, well, ironically,
Yeah, I'm
it just hit me that
operations.
ironically, in my career as a brand, I was a brand strategist.
Yeah.
I've never done operations, and here I'm doing operations. And in her career, she's doing, because she was on the marketing side of things, and execution was a big responsibility. Not really, and now for some reason it switched roles. But whatever. I mean, we sort of enjoy what we're doing. Also, I think so. To answer your question, I think if she were to disappear from the business, I think that visionary who's leading the brand, I think that is a gap that I'll find. There's no one putting down how the brand should move, how it should move forward, sort of a thing. And that's where I look up to her in a way, right? So I think that's what I.
I love that you guys are so complementary
I
to
know.
each other.
Yes.
I feel like you guys bring the best out of each other. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
wonderful. Wonderful to see.
Absolutely. So I was just going to say, I love the synergy that you bring to the table. It's so great to see a couple,
Yeah.
do this together, because I mean, I can't think of starting a business with my husband. I can never do that. I don't think I can, right? But tell me this, has there been, like a major disagreement between you guys, or a big fight that you guys have had that has, maybe in some way affected your business in any way, or the approach to it? Or the goal for that day?
That day for sure.
That day, I mean, see, fights keep happening every day,
Yeah,
basically, right?
yeah.
But I don't think there's anything that we've not been able to reconcile, right?
Right.
It's not like, oh my God, this happened and therefore this. I don't
Yeah.
think we are people like that. I think eventually common sense prevails, and we're like, okay, fine, let me step back and listen to what she has to say. She also does that. I think good sense prevails eventually, and therefore, thankfully, until now, no rash decisions have been made.
Yeah.
They've been thought through. Could be bad decision, we don't know, but they've been they've never been impulsive, whimsical decisions so far.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's an answer to that question. Everyday fights keep happening, everyday bad fights keep happening, but nothing that, I mean, we ensure that it doesn't distract us from the bigger
actual
picture,
goal. And that
right?
goal is very clear for both of us, right? So that helps. I think.
Yeah.
The fact that we are on the same side at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And so, on a slightly different note, right? You guys spoke about the folk art, the puzzle, etc. What is one product that your customers love? Maybe your bestseller, maybe something that gets the maximum like raving reviews, that almost didn't make it to the product line.
Raman.
Yeah, I think maybe the Ramayana block puzzles because I think so when we started Gubbachhi, we always wanted Gubbachhi to be an inclusive brand, and we still do, obviously. And therefore, we said that we would remain within the ambit of culture, but not move into anything religious. Because culture is inclusive that way, whereas sometimes, religion may not be. So there was a huge debate in our head in terms of whether we should pick up something like a Ramayana or a Mahabharata, right? And then finally, we of course decided that it is India's story, right? It's not, it is bigger than religion, it is part of culture. For me, for example, my introduction to Ramayana happened through Bharatnatyam when I saw a performance of this one particular artist who played Sita, and that is so strong in my memory. And she was a Muslim woman learning Bharatnatyam who performed Sita, and it is that Sita who's in my head, and it is that Ramayana that supersedes all other versions for me, right? So it's much bigger than something that religion can ever achieve. So we felt that therefore it is something that we should go ahead and launch, and we did, and it saw phenomenal success with customers for sure. We launched it during Diwali, so it was also apt. And we really, the product still continues to be one of our best sellers. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And we totally get not wanting to mix, religion into like a business, because it can be very polarizing. It can be very, people can feel a way about it.
Yeah, and fundamentally, I mean, see, there are enough. We're not here to pass judgment. There are enough brands who have taken that path also, right? But that is not the vision that we began with. I mean, we are clear that, and the beautiful thing about it, and I personally, and I'm not just saying it because ever since Gubbachhi started, ever since I can remember, I am in love with my country. I am one who's an absolute patriot. I can point out things when things are not working out. In fact, when I had the chance to go abroad, as I'm a software engineer turned marketing guy, I had a lot of because I was at the tech boom sort of a thing. I said no, I'm going to stay back in India because it's a beautiful country. Because it is a beautiful country. It's like Europe into 10 or something. We are so diverse. I don't know why we end up fighting with each other. We are so unity in diversity. I mean, that's the beauty of the country, right? I mean, we are so diverse. We are so different. Our food habits, our languages, our festivals, our culture, etc., etc. It's so beautiful. It's this patchwork of people and cultures that makes India India, and that is what Gubbachhi wants to celebrate, right? The reason we chose Ramayana is not because it's a Hindu epic; it's because it's an Indian epic. The reason we chose Taj Mahal, it's not because it's a Mughal architecture; it's an Indian architecture. As far as I'm concerned, this is what makes India India, right? So going back to your thing, and just to add to what Pallavi is saying, we did debate that by launching something like the Ramayana, will it go too religious and therefore will it end up polarizing people? But then I thought, you know what? I mean, you can't shy away from the fact that it is an Indian epic. Yeah. It is an Indian story, right? And we said, we just said, okay, let's launch it. So I think that's a product that almost did not make it, but thank God it did make it because it really worked for us.
Yes, interesting because it's such a lovely product. Have you seen it? Because it's, you know, I like the way you know, it's like a puzzle, right?
Yeah.
And my kids love it, so I love the way they have depicted that and the characters, and
Right.
it's so beautiful. I love it. Yes, yes.
I love that it had so much of thought behind it. I love that you love this country so much that you wanted to make something so special. So on that note, I will definitely take a look at this after we're done with this conversation.
We love money also.
Noted.
Okay, because you know, you've got a full-fledged family, you've got, you know, 2 kids, you're running a business together. One thing I really want to know is, what is the one family rule that you have created because you own a business together?
We've created many rules.
You don't follow them.
Yeah, I don't follow them. I think one thing is that we basically decided that after 7 o'clock, you know, we will shut shop. Sundays we will shut shop.
But that after 7 rule doesn't get followed
Just
much.
doesn't
but-
happen a lot. Yeah, but these are some of the rules that we do have in place. It's just that a lot of it is not in our control at all, and no matter how much we try, there are certain things that demand attention, and we are in the stage of the business where there is no one else that you can actually depend on, so you need to respond.
Okay.
And that does happen. But of course, like for example, we recently started this swimming journey together. So as a family, we are learning swimming. All of us, I mean, we both know swimming, but we're still going with the kids to sort of, you know, better our skills. And that's a little bit of me time that we get with the kids, right? So those kind of things are put into place where we sort of switch off for a limited period of time. But that's all we can afford to do.
That's nice. Yeah.
And it's important to have some family bonding time, doing something fun instead of always being like, do your homework, don't do this. Let's all do something fun together.
No, that's why weekend we try to catch a movie with the kids,
Yeah.
like at home only,
Yeah.
like one children's movie, some animated movie. So we want to make it like a ritual of sorts.
Right.
But it's Saturday night we watch a
Yeah, something that you guys do as
Look
a family.
forward to as a family.
No, we
Yeah.
just walk down and then, you know, have
Yeah.
even a walk in the society. Sometimes it's just that, but
Yeah.
it's just
Mm.
good conversation time. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. You know, a flip of that would be, have your children ever complained or like called you out, or at least like made it a thing that you always bring work home? You know, we want more time with you. Is that ever a challenge? Is that something that you face? Is that something
I
that
don't
you
think so
face?
because that way we're very lucky because
Yeah.
both sets of parents are there.
Yeah.
So yes, if you ask them, they never told us that okay, you're not spending enough time with them because number one, our home we work out of home only, so they see us all the time, and we're just there working on the laptop. So they're not really vocalized it, saying I wish you spend more time with me because honestly we try and make do. Apart from that, even if we are not there, parents are there.
Yeah.
The ajjas and ajjis are there.
Yeah.
So that way, I don't think that they miss
Yeah.
family like that. And the good thing is there are 2 of them siblings. Although they're fighting at each other's throats, at least they're with each other. So
Yeah.
no, that's not come from them like that.
Yeah.
No,
If
but
you ask
actually,
them, I don't know.
I think what he said is correct, right? For us, the extended family, like both sets of parents being involved, satisfies their attention, love, care, all of those needs. So they don't look to us for it at all,
Yeah.
you know. And if the guilt is happening, the guilt is happening at our end, that we are missing out on our kids growing up and every little small nuance of it, right? But they are not missing out on anything because I think especially our moms more than compensate. Like they
Yeah.
take care of them, they take care of us as well. So yeah, so that helps.
That's wonderful, and I think it's always good to have supportive family. I think that's like one of those very underrated things that we tend to take for granted, especially if we have it.
Yes.
So it's wonderful.
No, that's-
Wonderful.
No, that's one of the reasons why we moved from Bombay to Bangalore because
Yeah.
I'm originally from Bangalore, but we were in Bombay, but we decided to come back here because of this ecosystem that we have. Although all the
Yeah.
family doesn't stay with us, they are close enough.
Yeah.
So, like she was saying, I think the mothers really step up. They take the kids for
Their
football
classes
and classes, etc.
Yeah, just
So,
emotionally they do have
Yeah,
someone,
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So
No,
helps.
that's great. They say, right, it takes a village to bring kids up. So it's you know, you have been setting this business up and been working really hard at it. Would you be okay if your kids did not continue this, you know, once they are grown? Would you be okay with that?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've not thought about it like that. Look, I mean, it's not like I understand if I get it in a business family, after the business is up and running for 2 generations, if the third generation grandson comes and says, I will not take over the business, like, what the hell, and this is something that we've been doing for 50 years.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think
Yeah, we're too far too
you're
young.
too far too young, and I don't think the idea is even to build this for 30-40 years like that. Of course, we want it to be around, but if tomorrow, if the kids say no, we don't want to run Gubbachhi, but if Gubbachhi is alive and well, run by a professional team, why not? As long as the Gubbachhi legacy continues, I personally will not have any problem, because I think that way even we are very clear that let the kids chart their own independent paths. Let them do whatever they deem fit, because at least we've been lucky
To find something like
to
that.
find something like that. We
Yeah.
are doing that. So I think it'll be unfair if we say no, you have to do this.
Correct.
Right? So I think I'll
Yeah.
be fine.
Having said that, my elder son has already apparently recruited some people from his friends group who are going to graduate and then join Gubbachhi apparently.
So that fear won't be there.
So that
they won't be there.
that pressure is on us.
He's already starting to do the groundwork.
I love the confidence. I love the confidence. My friend is going to
Graduate and then
I
after that he'll be joining Gubbachhi.
Yeah. Long-term thinking. Like really long-term
He
thinking.
really believes
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Yeah.
longevity.
Actually, from amongst the four of us, I think he's the visionary.
So Rudra. Yes.
That is adorable. So, on the note of children, how do you make your children feel like they're not competing with your business for your time, for your attention? I know a part of it was already mentioned, but is there something you guys do, intentionally, or,
Yeah, one is I think, see, we've always made them part of the journey. So it's not like they're outside of this circle, primarily because we are also working from home, right? So all the discussions are happening literally in front of them, and they are grasping and learning from all of that actually. In fact, even in stressful situations, like if there is a big order to fulfill and we suddenly can't increase your packaging force, to be honest, we contribute, the kids chip in, the parents chip in, the end it becomes like we have building people who are joining us to do things sometimes, because it is like that, right? It is still at that stage where the business is part of the community, and so they feel like they're part of it, and therefore there is no friction as such. There is a certain sense of ownership that they definitely feel, which also helps, right? Because then they're looking at it as their own. In fact, I think my 4-year-old also proclaims that we have a company, and although he doesn't know the size of the business, but that sense of pride is there, which I think doesn't therefore.
So far, it's not really in conflict,
Yeah,
right?
it's not
like it's Gubbachhi versus them.
Yeah.
I think that co-ownership is there. That Gubbachhi is ours.
Yeah, and it's in a field that they can relate to. They
Yeah,
understand.
yeah,
We really do
exactly.
rely on their opinions on
Input,
things,
yeah.
because it's important, right, to get
Yeah.
that perspective. So
Like when we
the
make
perfect
content.
focus group. They
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, who
Like
better than them
prototyping.
and their kids, and their friends, right? So that's
Prototyping, we show them, do you like it, not like it.
Yeah.
If we create some content on
Yeah.
YouTube, Instagram, we show it to them, saying to. And like she's saying, the lucky thing is that this is a field of interest for them, right?
Yeah.
It's not like we're building a SaaS
Correct.
company
Yeah.
or a fintech or insurance company or something.
Yeah, like
They
I
will do
remember
that.
this, we started this YouTube series, right? And Rudra, who's my elder son, he came up with how the title track should look, right? So he had a reference. He literally
that's
came up and he said,
amazing.
this is how maybe we can have the animals move around and things like
Oh,
that.
it's
So,
amazing.
Yeah.
A true family business.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
True. That's true. Should be Gubbachhi and Sons. Yeah. all the time. I think every time. Because money has become very, very tight. We have to become very prudent with the business, because it's that's the thing, right? I mean, in fact, one big thing that you miss about being in a job is the check that comes at the end of every month, right? And that is reality, especially considering I have two children who are growing up, their school fees, etc., EMIs, all of that you can't cut off, right? We've reduced saving, like our SIPs have halved, less than halved, all that has happened. But there are some costs that you can't get away with, right? I mean, so that I think question bugs us a lot all the time. We're just hoping that this is something that will really pay off in the long run, which is what we're betting on.
Yeah, I think also see there are some choices that you need to make to ensure that your bills are getting paid, and we have consciously made those choices, right? We, for example, vacations at our stage of life, we would be going on a lot more trips. We would want to travel with the kids quite a lot. We've completely sort of put that, on hold right now, because we are investing somewhere else, right? We're not drawing that much of a salary and all of those things. So that balance has to be sort of maintained, and that is something we're doing consciously.
Yeah.
So while there are worries, there's also like a lot of being mindful. Let's cut this down. Let's do more of this.
Yeah. See, when you reach a certain stage in life, it's very difficult. I mean, we did try that. Like, we started maintaining accounts and ensuring that, groceries will be within this. But there are too many things to worry about. And you need to maintain, you're used to living in a certain way. And you want to obviously maintain that standard because, you live in society and there are other obligations to also fulfill. So a lot of those expenses you can't let go of. But certain significant ones that we do have control over, we do tend to sort of, take a back seat on those.
Yeah.
On the note of being a lot more open and honest and all of that about money, what's the biggest financial risk you guys have taken, either for the business or as a couple, which your extended family never knew about? Like, it's something that you did and you just hope to God that it worked.
I think it is this.
Yeah.
Now they know it, of course, but this is the risk that we still don't know whether it'll pay off. Because if you look at it, we were in decent paying jobs and all of that. I mean, so apart from the regular paycheck that we're not getting month on month, it's also the opportunity cost.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't if I would not have done this, I would have worked somewhere for 2.5 years. That would have added to my resume, which would have possibly given me a better, higher paying job. All of these opportunity costs are also some things that we have put on the line, so to speak. So when we started this, it was like that. I mean, no one knew about this. We just sort of decided
and see,
one
our
day.
parents and all, they come from purely professional corporate backgrounds, right? Even our extended family, there's nobody doing business in and around us.
Although we're Shetty, which is very strange, like there's enough Shetty community doing business.
But
in
not
our immediate
circle.
Extended circles, I mean, both my parents are ex-Vijaya Bank. Her mother is ex-Bank of Baroda. Her father is Merchant Navy.
Yeah.
So extended circle
Navy
are either
also,
some of the doctors or engineers or it's all service background, so to speak, right?
And service was always like the safe thing to do.
Yeah.
That's what you did. And in fact, for a long time for us also it was. We were very comfortable with our corporate careers.
Yeah.
So when we decided to finally take this plunge, and we've always been those good children kinds, right? Who will talk to our parents and take their advice and do as they say. But this is something that I think we clearly didn't tell them, because we knew that they wouldn't get it. Yeah. And probably they still don't, but they're still supporting us, right? That's where it is.
So on that note, I'm sure it'll be a wonderful success. And everyone, who maybe didn't get it initially will finally see it.
Yes.
And that's absolutely what, we wish.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So between the two of you, who says, okay, let's do this, or let's say, let's pause and say, let's think about it. Which one of you?
I think
Which one of you?
I think she'll say, let's do this. I'll say, let me think about it. Let us think about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
You
you're
do?
the more. So he
Agree.
basically means to say you're the more impulsive.
No,
no, just kidding.
No, I'm the more like, let's get it done and see what happens.
For
That's
sure,
good.
Right?
yeah.
Versus he's like, let's look at the whole picture, sort of a thing. And there's sometimes I just feel like there's no time for that.
No, I love that. I love the fact that you're the driver. I love that energy about you. That you're like, okay, there is a goal. You know, you have to achieve it. Let's just get it done.
Yeah.
Not procrastinate over it, right? Yeah.
And I like the fail fast attitude, right? Okay, if something has to go wrong, then let's get it over with. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
try something new.
No, but having said that, I would say these roles are defined when you are giving an interview, but in real life, sometimes that doesn't happen. Like, for example, that is true. All of what she said is true. But sometimes, she's the one who's guilty of not moving fast enough. I mean to say, this quest for perfection, so to speak, right? I can't
Yeah.
think of an example, but something it could be like, say, for example, an Insta reel that you're making, for example, script or the storyboarding that's happening. She's like this, and then what will happen, and then this font, that, this logo placement, music, this music.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, your audience is a 4-year-old child, for example. You don't need to. Let's move fast. So she does that sometimes, and I think the good thing is that we complement each other. So when she does that, I'm like, okay, let's move fast. Or if I am dilly-dallying, she's like, no, let's move fast, or whatever.
Yeah.
But and the fact that you guys being, or one of you being the driver and one of you being the perfectionist goes hand in hand, right? I think that works really well. So yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm actually, honestly, like what you said, fail fast is something that I have been constantly telling myself, because honestly, there are n number of obstacles that will come in your way, and that is the nature of doing business. That's one thing I've learned, right? So you just have to be prepared to find solutions, because that's your job. And therefore, this getting everything right from the start is something that I keep telling myself, and because he keeps pointing it out to me as well, because that perfection is not helping.
Yeah.
You need to sort of get it going and understand and improve.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think as very type A coded people, right? We want everything to be perfect. We want everything to be, we want to be experts right from jump, which is obviously not the case. So, you've got to be okay with that, beginners.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, for sure. Life is short enough, so like get it done. Let's go. Yeah. Okay, so what is the worst advice you've received as a startup couple? Worst advice. And you look at it and you kind of joke about it now. Or just bad advice which just didn't work. Either way.
No, actually, I don't think we are in the stage where we get a lot of advice, to be honest.
We get a lot of English.
No, not like advice, right? It's just direction that mostly we are quite okay with. Like to work as a couple, I don't really know. No, I don't think we've got
Advice that is like really bad. Huh?
that we've acted upon and realized it's not the right thing to do.
Or is it so bad that you've just completely blocked it out? You're so traumatized by it.
Don't remember that advice.
I don't even know what
That episode has been erased.
I mean, I'll tell you this much. I mean, honestly, I can't think of, I cannot pick one thing and say that such a silly advice. I honestly, there isn't anything like that.
Yeah.
But the thing about a startup journey is this, that, everything is in hindsight. Everybody, everything is right and everything is wrong.
Yeah,
right?
you can justify anything.
You can justify anything. It's like a case study in B school, right?
Yeah.
It would have worked for a brand, and therefore they said this is how it is. But then, voila, they'll show you one more case study where it's completely opposite. Like, for example, in our business, there are enough people who had some point told us that most of your business has to be on your own website, not on marketplaces like Amazon.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're in control of customer data. Because Amazon tomorrow can shut shop, they can take you for it. Superb. But then there are enough people also who tell you the other thing, saying, oh, you can't trust Meta and Facebook and Instagram advertising to work.
It's too
Sales are very
expensive.
inconsistent.
Yeah.
Customer acquisition costs are very high. So you need to have majority of your sales coming from marketplaces.
And you need to prove yourself on marketplace.
Exactly. That's what the real battle is. So my point is, we have been getting a lot of advice that could be right, that could be wrong also.
Yeah.
Your story is yours.
Yeah.
So some advice that has not worked for us doesn't mean it's bad advice actually.
Yeah.
Maybe it works for someone else
Yeah.
in a different industry, in a different parallel universe.
Yeah. But
Didn't
it's
work for
important
us.
to make it your own. Like you can't just randomly act upon something.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
let
that
me
gut has
rephrase
to
it
be.
a little bit, right? What is the advice that has worked for you guys, or rather, what is it that you rely on, or what advice has really hit home for you as people who don't come from a business background, right? Because your parents are not entrepreneurs, you're first generation,
Yeah.
business owners. What is something that's actually been valuable?
So go on, go on.
For me, I think it was someone who we consider as one of our mentors. Basically, he told us to be okay with the low months, right? Like when business doesn't go as per plan,
I agree.
that doesn't mean you give up. That's going to be part of your cycle, and learning to embrace that and learning to understand that fine, you need to figure out how to get out of it, and then move up again. That resilience will come in if you are able to accept the fact that these lows are part of business, right? So that at least has helped me quite a lot.
No, I think
Yeah,
that's very valuable.
Yeah,
advice
no, I
to get.
totally agree. But I know exactly what he's talking about, what she's talking about, because he basically told this point that if you zoom out, I mean, every day you can have ups and downs, but when you zoom out,
Yeah.
the overall graph should be
going
like that.
upwards, yeah.
It's okay. Week on week, up and down is okay. Day on day, up and down is okay. But if you zoom out, if it's moving like that, then you're sorted.
Yeah.
I think that, because I think a big part of business, running any business, is the resilience, that this thick skin that you need to develop.
Yeah.
It's not hard. This is possibly the hardest thing that I've ever done. And believe me, I've tried multiple things in life. I've changed careers multiple times,
Yeah.
etc., etc. And this is by far the hardest, right? And being very, very resilient, I think that is one piece of advice, saying, shit happens, but you have to just
Dust
grin and bear
yourself
it
off and
and
say,
pick up the
we'll
pieces
find
and
the
move
way.
on, right? I think that
Yeah.
sort of stayed with me as well, right?
Brilliant. I like the advice. I mean, it is so relatable, as when you're starting a business, or even
For
in your
anyone,
regular
really.
jobs or anything, or in your day-to-day lives. I love the fact that I think that kind of really hit home with me. Where they say, okay, you may not have all ups. It could be ups, it could be downs. The fact that you need to embrace your downs is yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
So
Correct.
I'm not wearing it because I don't wear that much of jewelry, but there's this particular ring that we Shetties, married women especially, wear, right? And it's got it's shaped like a V.
Yeah.
And that is apparently supposed to signify that even in a marriage there will be ups and downs, and this is part of journey. And
Interesting.
so it's so true in business especially, and for us, I think that was one big sort of mind shift, that we needed to sort of make.
Yeah, there is no essentially. I mean, I think that's the thing, right? I mean, you cannot think of failure, because failure is not an option. I mean, now that you've jumped headfirst into this, you gotta do it.
You just have to find
you
a way.
just find a way.
Yeah.
You just put your head down and do it. I think that's the thing, right? And again, look, I mean, our journey is far from over. There's still tons of work to be done, etc., etc. But that is true. Sometimes you need to take a pause and look back, and then you realize how far you come.
Yeah.
Because if 3 years back, while I was working, if you had told, hey, you know what, you'll be running a business which has X number of followers on Instagram, so much top line you're doing month on month, so many customers you have, I'm like, what the hell, man? I mean, whom are you kidding? Because I have never considered myself to be an entrepreneur type, but now that's what sometimes that becomes important, that you need to look back, take a pause, and see how much you've come.
Yeah.
Because there is no way but to
move forward.
move forward.
Yeah.
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 That's great and really good advice. I think applies to everyone.
Yeah. Because you are a couple and you run this business together, when it comes to decisions, does either of you have like a major say, or is it like all, thought through and discussed, and then, okay, you guys reach a decision together?
Yeah, I think, see, a lot of places we take decisions together, because while we come from similar industries, I think our strengths are very different. And that is something that we knew even before we started, right? So we were therefore keen on working together because, like you rightly said, we are complementary that way. So there are places where I will rely on his judgment and places where he will rely on my judgment. But there are significant moments where we decide to sort of drill it down together, and we are able to very smoothly arrive at a consensus usually. If not, then there are sources we have who sort of break the tie for us.
No, that is true, and also, as far as I'm concerned, all of what she said, I mean, basically, we mutually arrive at something. But if there is something that I honestly think, this goes back to what we were saying, our roles are very clear. She is the CEO, and in any organization, final veto authority rests in the CEO on the CEO's desk. So, as far as I'm concerned, okay, if there's a stalemate, then you go with what the CEO has to say, because that is how you run a business. This is not husband and wife. We are talking about a professional equation. We've taken the call that in this business, she is the CEO, she is the strategy maker. So, if there's deadlock, then what she says goes, because that's how any business is run, right?
Yeah, that's wonderful. So, what was the deeply held belief that you guys had at the start of your journey versus now? Like, what is something that's either changed or what's something that's solidified even more, you know? Or something that you
From the
completely.
business perspective,
Yes,
right?
yes. From the time that you started your business to now, what is something that was deeply held back then which you either completely disagree with today or which has just gotten a lot stronger? Whichever one you find.
For me personally, sorry, it's going back to the earlier answer, touching upon that. I would not have. I mean, this journey has really revealed so many things about myself to me.
Yeah.
Like, the level of upskilling that I've done as a person, the level, like I said, I have never been good. Maybe I'm still not good, but I've never been good at operations or negotiations, etc., because that was not part of my job at all.
Yeah.
I have spent my entire career as a brand strategy guy. My discussions were very PPT, were very C-suite. I would go and make presentations of CEOs and CXOs, right? And today I am everything from packing boxes to picking up the call on vendors, negotiating with them. So the point I'm making is that the one thing that has completely been dispelled for me is this thing about myself, saying, hey, I didn't know that I was capable of so much more,
Yeah.
right? And that has been such a revelation. At the cost of sounding very boastful, I'm bloody proud of myself. This may go this may go belly up. This may go belly up. Sorry, we are a family show, guys. The business may go belly up, but I am proud of what I've done so far, because otherwise I would not have imagined that I'm capable of doing even this much. I think that's been a big revelation for me.
Actually, I have a very different perspective, and maybe that goes to show how men think so differently. I question everything that I thought were my strengths.
Yeah.
And
That is true.
that's thanks to this business. Like, I always thought I was a really good people manager, right? And that's what I have also been told across so many years with, through all the appraisals. But I mean, that's nowhere close to the ideal, boss that I would want to be. And that is because the pressures and everything else, that the uncertainty that you're dealing with, many times I'm not able to sort of keep it to myself, right? And that does translate in the way I approach things and I approach people. So I've seen those gaps much more clearly, and I'm conscious of it, and now I'm working towards sort of filling those in.
No, that is also true. I mean, the flip side of it is also that when you realize that there's so much that you still don't know.
Yeah, you feel inadequate. Yeah.
Inadequate, I'm not sure. I think that looks. I'm not harsh on myself to that extent. Inadequate, I'm not saying. I'm saying, you realize that there's so. See, when you're doing your job, you realize that. I mean, because that is the well you're in.
Yeah.
That is the silo you're in.
Yeah.
You're
getting your
you're
A+.
getting, you're getting your promotions. You're getting your appraisals. Your boss is happy. Your team is happy. That's the world you inhabit. Here, every day a stranger calls up saying, "Where is my order?
Yeah.
Okay, I had ordered it. Today's my birthday party. What will you do?" And when you're at the receiving and you can't hide behind a boss or someone, then you're basically boss. You're thinking on your feet, etc., etc.
Well, on that
Very humbling,
note,
very humbling.
yeah, I'm sure but on that note, I think given that there's a long road ahead, more things to accomplish, more things to overcome,
Yes.
not feeling so inadequate, although I don't think any of us are, because I don't like to be harsh about either myself or anyone around me, but there's a lot to learn, there's a lot to overcome, and on that note, it's a great it's very inspiring to have this conversation with you guys. I think there's so much that we are taking
Yeah.
away from it as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so since we are also fans of talk shows, we figured, like a fun element of this, this conversation.
We're not in coffee with current yet.
See, yeah, how about we get a Gubbachhi hamper? See, like, I would love that. All jokes aside, so we, have this thing of, let's make it fun. The conversation should have something more fun. We heard about the journey, we're so inspired, but now we'll do something fun. So we're gonna do a rapid fire round. It's gonna be quick questions, quick answers. Okay? Who wants to go first? Okay.
CEO.
The CEO, of course, ladies first. Okay. Who apologizes first? You or him? Okay. Who takes bigger risks?
Me.
She's got to answer all of these, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All her. So, like, first 5 questions
Yeah.
would be her. Next would be Okay.
Start again.
Okay, let's start again.
Okay. Actually,
Okay. Who apologizes first?
him.
Okay. Who takes bigger risks?
He actually.
Okay. Who spends more money?
Him.
Not on business.
No business. So you have to spend what you have to spend. But he definitely spends more money. I mean, in general, on his upkeep.
Alright, noted.
True that.
Okay. Who is more impatient?
Me.
Okay. Who answers customer emails faster?
And well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. Who forgets anniversaries?
Both are not very good at it.
Alright. Okay, so that was good. That was a good one.
Yeah. So
over to
now, Abhi, these are for you. So you're going to make it quick, okay? Quick, okay?
Okay.
Who is the better negotiator?
She's.
Okay. Who is more likely to work on a vacation?
She.
Okay. Coffee or sleep?
Sleep.
Okay. Profit or purpose?
Wait.
You can say both.
Okay.
Okay. Scale or stability?
Stability.
Fair. One word that describes your partner as a founder, and I think this is something that we would like to ask both of you.
This is not rapid fire, no?
No.
One word.
I think with him it would be resourceful, right?
I was thinking of a similar word, but
Like he will find a way to get things done, and he's optimistic, and therefore, resourceful and optimistic.
yeah. Well, the word I chose is like maybe a very, very cliched, basic word, but that's true. Hardworking.
That's true.
It is what it is. She's extremely hardworking.
Okay.
We love those both. Being resourceful, having that wonderful work ethic, so respectable. Love it.
Thank you.
Okay. I think on that note, what is the one advice that you would give anyone at any age, at any juncture in life, if they wanted to start a business? What is the one, learning or advice you would give them?
I would say I think it's very important to choose a co-founder and choose the right one,
Absolutely.
right? Because it's a very tough journey. I can't imagine doing it on my own. And I also cannot imagine doing it with not somebody correct, not somebody having that wavelength match, right? So important to have someone and important to choose the right person.
That's great advice.
Yeah. What about you?
Totally. I mean, I want to say something along those lines only. It's very important to choose the right partner, but now that she's already answered. The other thing that I want to say is, I think a lot of founders also make the mistake of trying to make their passion into business. That's all good. But now I can say in hindsight, going back, although as much as I love doing Gubbachhi, going back, maybe we would have chosen a different industry, something with more repeat rates, something with more margin, something which is more frequently bought, etc., etc. I don't know. I'm just saying. So I think, of course, do your passion. I'm not saying don't. If you don't want to do it, don't end up in a boring razor blade company. If you don't want to do that, don't do that. But you choose an industry that is the equal blend of passion as well as market opportunity. It should be that. I mean, the market should be there for it. You should also be sufficiently passionate about it. If that's the thing, then that's the golden ideal. I mean, that would be my recommendation. If you're absolutely setting out, see what you're good at and see what I think it's just something like that ikigai or something, which basically say what the world needs, what you're good at, sort of a thing. I think that is somewhere true. When you're starting off a business, sort of do all of that. What are you good at? What do you think the world needs? And what are you passionate about or something? I think uh,
Yeah, all of
then
that.
the path will be easier, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, that's wonderful advice, I think. Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. So, like, make a Venn diagram, you guys. What are you good at? What does the market need? Find that little
Little
intersection.
space,
You'll
yes.
find a great idea. Simple, so easy. No, but on that note, it's actually really great advice on both fronts. The people you partner with for anything, like even us starting this podcast, right? We've been talking about it forever, and we've just never gotten around to it till very, very recently, where one fine day we just said, let's go, let's do it, right? We're going to be horrible at it, let's try it. We can be beginners at it, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's important, and we've been doing well together because we have that basic understanding, right?
Yeah.
And while it may not be at the scale of a full-fledged, business, it is important to, work with the right people, have that wavelength. Yeah. And of course, your extremely prudent advice of what you're good at plus what the world needs.
Yeah.
It's absolutely great advice. So on that note, thank you so much for spending so much time with us, indulging us, having this wonderful conversation with us. We really appreciate it. And, I will definitely check out Gubbachhi. And if I need to buy, gifts for any of the children in my life, I know where to go. And, I'd love to, maybe do this sometime soon.
Yes, absolutely.
Have more conversations.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely. Thank you. I think it was, really nice to just be heard as well. Lots of tough questions that made us think, but I think overall the conversation flowed really smoothly, right? And that's the fun part of something like this. So.
No, yeah, I mean, totally. Thank you so much, guys. It was an absolute pleasure. Didn't say time flew because I think everything was spoken very candidly from the heart.
Like speaking with friends. Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
Which we are.
thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah. And definitely check out Gubbachhi. You get a flat 15% off orders up to 1499. Shipping is free.
10%. Not 50%.
The boss has spoken, you guys.
10%, guys.
It's not 15%.
about 249.
Love it. So on that note, thanks
you.
everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you guys. The pleasure was completely ours.
Thank you.
So on that note, I just want to say what a wonderful conversation with Abhijit and Pallavi and us. I love that they took the time out to talk to us, to share their journey. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully, we can bring more of our friends out soon and have more of these interesting conversations. And until then, until our next conversation, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, follow, comment. Do share your thoughts, and definitely let us know, if there's anything specific that you either want to ask, the Shettys, or you want us to talk about. We'll see you in the next conversation. Bye.